Hello and welcome to the Patterson Ice Center in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm Matt Gajtka and welcome to our first broadcast for East Grand Rapids boys hockey in the 2024-25 season. We will be on a new channel for the next game next week that I do have for you against Salem. As for right now, thank you for joining me. My name is Matt Gajtka and this is my YouTube channel. So had a little bit of a technical issue with the new stream, but we'll have that all set to go, like I said, next week. Regardless, we're about a half an hour past our predicted start time for tonight's game, but we did have a bit of a backup because the first game ran long. Forest Hills Northern and Eastern was playing Lake Orion in the first game of this Patterson Ice Center doubleheader here on the East Rink, and unfortunately for the Bird Dogs, they fell 4-2 to the visiting Lake Orion squad, which will play Forest Hills Central tomorrow on this rink. For East Grand Rapids, coming off a second consecutive trip to the D3 title game last spring, falling in triple overtime to Cranbrook Kingswood to fall just one win shy of its first state crown ever. But the Pioneers are reloaded and back at it for another season of hockey, one of the traditional programs in all of West Michigan, and now rising in status after making it all the way to the final game in D3 in back-to-back years. Hi, I'm Matt Gajtka. Welcome to the broadcast this evening. We're here on Press Row at the Patterson Ice Center. And East Grand Rapids has a formidable opponent tonight as they'll play Riverview Gabriel Richard. They're also the Pioneers, in case you didn't notice that from the opening tag that I had on top of the broadcast here. So Riverview Gabriel Richard had another fine season last year under head coach Rick DeSana. They went 15-6-3. They won the Metro League East Division, and they won a regional title in Division III before falling to, guess who, Cranbrook Kingswood in the quarterfinal round. So these two teams have something in common. They want to get back at the Cranes if they do have an opportunity later this season. But neither here nor there. The other Pioneers from Gabriel Richard returned their top six scorers from last season, but they did lose their starting goalie in Ryan Rainey, a player to watch. For the boys in maroon and black tonight is their senior captain, the forward number 22, Tony Venturini. He led the team in goals with 17 and points with 40 last year. But for your Pioneers, the East Grand Rapids Pioneers, coached by Chris Newton in his 7th season, he's gotten them to 4 state tournaments in his first 6 years here in East Grand Rapids, and under him the Pioneers have a record of 93-58 and 5. Especially in their last 35 games, the Pioneers have stepped on the accelerator as they are 28-7 since that run to the state tournament, to the state final 2 springs ago, back in 2023, and they went 24-6, did East Grand Rapids, including a 12-game win streak late last season. They scored also more than 4 goals per game. So this was a potent offense last year, but 8 senior skaters did graduate, and both goalies graduated, plus defenseman Davis Rushmore has moved on to AAA hockey, playing for the Bigby program. But the bright side for East Grand Rapids, they do return quite a few gunners from last year, including the 19-goal man Oliver Owen. He was tied for the team lead in goals last season. James Albers returns as well. He had 18 goals to go with 29 points. And Bennett Winkle had 20 assists. He was the second leading setup man for the Pioneers last year, 25 total points for him. It's an all-veteran top 6 up front for Chris Newton. Oliver Owen, James Albers, Brady Ross returns. Then we've got Bryce Bjornsson, Bennett Winkle, and Nolan Brooks at the top of that line chart. On defense, we do see some returners there as well. Owen Stropke, the number 1 time on ice guy for the Pioneers last year. He'll be paired up with Ethan Brinker, a couple of players who have seen plenty of varsity action. Then we'll see Caden Goosens and Cooper Rowan as the second pairing, and we'll introduce some of those new characters as they do see some ice time tonight. In goal, one of those new faces for EGR is the netminder, and his name is Charlie Finch, the freshman. Will get the start tonight. He's played his AAA hockey with the Fox Motors program out of Southside, and the Pioneers are happy to have him certainly on the squad as they try to, like I said, replenish in goal after losing both of their netminders last year to graduation, including Joe Green, who helped anchor their run all the way to the state title game. Take a little break here as the Zamboni's still wrapping up its laps on the East Rink at Patterson. In just a moment, we'll have the broadcast for you. First game of many that I'll be bringing to you this year for East Grand Rapids. Pioneers hockey against the Pioneers coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Moments away from face-off from the Patterson Ice Center. I'm Matt Gajtka. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel for this evening. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, we'll have the East Hockey live stream YouTube channel up and running and capable of streaming live next week for the matchup against Salem. So thank you for your patience. Please excuse our dust as we have things under construction here. For Riverview Gabriel Richard, this is their first of 2 games in Grand Rapids this weekend. They will play another one of the storied programs here in this region. Tomorrow, they'll take on Grand Rapids Catholic Central down at Southside. And as most teams who come over from the East do, they pick up a couple of games. Like I mentioned, Lake Orion's going to play Forest Hills Central after they just played Forest Hills Northern and Eastern. We also have a new configuration in the OK Conference this year. This, of course, a non-conference game, but I'll get you those details a little bit later on. Long story short, though, we've gone from 3 divisions to 2, and we have added a postseason tournament, if you will, later in the year. Seems like we're having a little bit of some buffering issues for you on the broadcast tonight, so I'll monitor that as we try to make sure we have a good show for you this evening. Might be able to, in fact, knock down that stream rate. And we'll see what we can do to manage the internet quality here at Patterson. Starting lineup being announced right now for your Pioneers. and including, like I mentioned, the freshman goalie, Charlie Finch. And we'll have the national anthem here just before the drop of the puck. Hope things go a little bit smoother as we'll move on through the evening. 9:10 p.m. start time, and we'll have the opening face-off in just a moment. We're set to go from Patterson. First game of the season for both teams. Both teams coming off of state tournament appearances. Of course, East Grand Rapids went all the way to the championship game and into overtime. A couple of close losses in the championship game as EGR was knocking on the door of that first state title. And, well, the beauty and the, I guess the downside of it, too, is that you start anew in the fall. And here we go. A couple of referees, couple of lines, people out there for us. A full complement of officials for the evening's activities. Thank you for joining us once again as we will see the Albers, Ross, and Owen line begin things for the Pioneers. Stropke and Brinker on the blue line. And like I said, coming out of the Fox Motors program, Charlie Finch in goal. Starting goalie for the other Pioneers, Gabriel Richard, is Connor Patak. He had a 4-2-1 record last year as the backup, .925 save percentage and a shutout. He is a junior, and the puck is dropped, and we're off and skating from the east rink at Patterson. It's thrown over to the near wing side and cleared up and out by Gabriel Richard back into Pioneers real estate. That's where Stropke tries to clear to the side wall, where it's broken up there. Back in behind the goal, Brinker on it now. Albers gives him some help. James Albers coming off a big year as a junior, 18 goals. He'll headman it over to Ross coming in over the line. Ross pulls the trigger, bounces free. Albers, a backhand once and twice, and he's stopped from close range. James Albers that close to putting it in, but Patak with a sliding two-pad stack as he falls on top of the puck, and look like some concern there for Patak as he is reaching for his upper leg, it looks like. Logan Swears, the defenseman, was tending to him for a moment, and it looks like Patak is going to skate it off. Actually, he is, grabbing his crotch. I think that's where that shot hit him. No delicate way to put it, and it happens in this sport. So you want to be a goalie, huh? Face-off in the Gabriel Richard end. 16:29 to go in the first period. And the puck is dropped, and the visitors win the face-off. Thrown out through center ice. Tracking this one down will be Caden Goosens, the defenseman. He absorbs a hit there from his opposite number, Santino Venturini, who has the puck behind the goal. On his backhand, he feeds it out to the blue line, and Cole went D-to-D, but the one-timer by Lucidi was fanned on. He still kept it in the zone, though. Now tapped toward the front. Watching it with a wary eye is the goaltender, Finch. All the way out to the blue line. Cole, fan on the shot, came right to Albers, and it's a breakaway. Albers in on goal, save made by Patak, and Albers got a second hack at it, and the Gabriel Richard defenders don't like it very much, and we have a penalty, at least one, coming out of this confrontation. James Albers with the two early chances for East Grand Rapids. Could not bury, though, this one on a partial breakaway. And looks like Albers is going to go to the penalty box for that extra whack on the goaltender. First power play of the season for Gabriel Richard. Couldn't quite make out what the call was. I bet it would be a slash, though. Couldn't hear the PA announcer. It is a packed house on the left side of this rink. The student section is all around the perimeter behind the goal, as you see there on your screen, as well as in the Pioneers zone. Lobbed ahead, shorthanded chance, though, for Ross. He'll circle the goal. Left it back behind, and Gabriel Richard will pick it up and settle it down as they start their power play. Jake Seski, one of the returners for the Pioneers, coming to you from Riverview, Michigan. Won their division last year, lost just 6 games, just like East Grand Rapids. Digging in deep, but losing control of the puck was Venturini. Over there in the corner, though, is Connor Forrester. Forrester, good pass. Here's a shot. Good save. His first save as a varsity goaltender by Charlie Finch, and he holds on for the whistle. 15:15 to go in the first, 1:19 remaining on the power play. Good setup from Gabriel Richard. And the chant is East Grand Rapids. The Pioneers in their gold uniforms, as you can see. The alternates, if you will, coming out with those in the opener. Cleared around and out, and another charging play for Nolan Brooks. He'll move in shorthanded. Brooks a backhand, and he missed the goal. I don't know if Patak got a piece of it, but that's 3 grade A chances for the Pioneers. This one shorthanded. A couple of times the Gabriel Richard defenders are being caught unawares, but here's a poke through center by Seski. He pulls up, tried to center it, and it's broken up by Caden Goosens to the far side wall. He'll lift it off the boards. Back out to the blue line, and Venturini. Smooth move to create some time and space. To the point in Seski. He moves centrally. Now passes to the far side wall. It bounces free in the slot, and a backhand by Venturini. Cleared back to the blue line and out. It's flushed through to the neutral zone by Bennett Winkle. Back with it, Seski dropped it off, wrist shot, deflected, on the way, bouncing loose in front of the net, and the net knocked off its moorings, back behind the goalie, and the goalie Finch was back in his net. He was bumped there hard on the chance. Santino Venturini, though, couldn't shovel it home. Looks like we've got the quality of the Ethernet connection back up to where it should be, so hopefully that stays that way. Again, welcome to the live stream. East Grand Rapids taking on Riverview Gabriel Richard in the opener for both schools. Backhanded to the line, and Tiglu City couldn't hold it for the boys in maroon. That is maroon and black. Interesting color combination. Kind of an old school look for Gabriel Richard. Dumped all the way down. The power play is almost over for Gabriel Richard. Sprinting up into the neutral zone to try to keep that bottled down into the attacking zone was Stropke, and he did briefly. Power play is over. The Pioneers are 1 for 1 on the kill, but here's a backhand chance from in close that Stropke got a stick on. Opportunity for Schweers. And tossed down off the stick of the defenseman Matthew Cole. He'll chase back. Well, I thought he touched it. If he did, it would have negated the icing, but the icing whistle was blown nonetheless, so that'll bring the faceoff back down to our left. 13:39 to go in the first period. The EGR Pioneers have survived an early power play by the Riverview Gabriel Richard Pioneers. Gotta love when both teams are nicknamed the same. Really limits my ability to use the old shorthand. Good thing hockey's not a fast game, huh? Poked out through center by Winkle, and onto the blade of Nolan Brooks. He'll shoot in. The goaltender Patak got a piece of it, not the whole thing. Banged out toward the point and forced through to center by Gabriel Richard. Venturini with the shoot around. Finch couldn't stop it. To the far boards it goes. Lifted up on the backhand by Caden Goosens, and we have a stoppage in play. Got caught with my head down there. It'll bring it back to the East Grand Rapids defensive zone. Whoever that linesman is has a glorious mustache. It is November, I guess. He must be a proponent of No Shave November. Drop of the puck, and Gabriel Richard wins it. The captain, Venturini, turns it toward goal, but he couldn't get it on line. It was blocked out high by Nolan Brooks. Backhanded deep by Bjornsson. Throws it off the goaltender. Back out in front. Score! First goal of the season for EGR. It's Bennett Winkle. He shoots the throw, and it's 1-0 with 13:02 to go in the first. Give Bryce Bjornsson the assist, just the second of his career. Winkle shelves it. Top left corner, even strength tally. Not sure if we'll see a secondary assist, but Bjornsson just jammed it toward the front. Doesn't have to be pretty. It either hit the outside of the goal frame or got a part of the goaltender's pad. Either way, Winkle was crashing at just the right time. And hockey is a lot about right place, right time. EGR with the first goal of the season. Lifted on through by Runyon. Owen Runyon gets it right back, one of the newcomers. Over to Jake Goosens on that lateral pass. Dishing to the corner, Trevor Bird. He's a freshman. Runyon's a sophomore, by the way. Bird trying to get in there and pry the puck loose, but it comes free to Gabriel Richard. Rambling on back is Eshelman. He'll feed it for a lob shot that sails into the corner. No harm, as Runyon couldn't clear. Bodies bang in the EGR zone. Tossed over the head of Goosens. Couldn't flag it down with the stick. And now he'll simply dish to the Gabriel Richard line. That's where Seski set sail. Seski got around one man, tried to play it back out to the point, and did, but the wild wrister from Forrester misses everything. Pinching in Zaker. He's crushed. Big hit at the boards, maybe too big, by Oliver Owen. Owen known more for his scoring than his hitting, but that was a crunching blow on Zaker, but the penalty, I think I saw roughing the call, and EGR will go short for the second time in this opening period, leading at 1-0, but now down a man for what they hope is a couple of minutes of PK time. Excuse me. If you're joining us late, Bennett Winkle scored the first goal of the year to get EGR on top. And they hack and whack for it out by the blue line. Albers on it, lost it, pulling it free and bouncing a shot toward the net was Forrester, and then a crunching blow by Cooper Rowan on the man in front, Santino Venturini. Turning shot toward the front, Tony Venturini. That was stopped by Finch. To the blue line again, a slap shot by Totcher was deflected. And might have got a piece of Finch as well. Now the battle's on to the side of the net. Still free there in the high danger area. Picked up and jammed, down and out. Blasted out of the zone by Caden Goosens. One of two Goosens on the squad. Jake Goosens is the forward, Caden is the defenseman. 11:11 to go in the first period. 1:11 to go on the power play. Finesse to the near wing, Venturini, but the Pioneers from Gabriel Richard are offside. Late night hockey from Patterson, later than we thought it was going to be. Scheduled for an 8:30 start. We got going at about 9:10, so you're part of the night owl club if you make it to the third period here. Anything past 11 o'clock, I'll give you that designation. Dumped in by Gabriel Richard. From the far side boards, Forrester. Couldn't make the play. Picked off by Nolan Brooks, and he clangs it off the wood and all the way back down. 46 seconds to go on the power play. Gabriel Richard already 0 for 1 on the advantage. Tocher takes the pass, and he'll spin and find it again out by the blue line. Fed it in deep to Forrester. He sent it out in front and didn't connect. By the blue line, Swears. Now near wing, Eshelman top of the circle. Whips it all the way across. The Pioneers confront there. But the deflected pass comes to Santino Venturini. Hanging out over there by the wall. Down to the final 15 seconds on the power play. Save made, rebound, lifted over the goal by Eshelman. And it bangs around the boards and out. One of those self-clears. You love that as the defensive team. Over to get it, Ethan Brinker. Couldn't get it out at the blue line. And the power play is over. Down to just shy of 10 minutes to go in the first period. We return to 5-on-5 play. Moving back forward are the Gabriel Richard Pioneers. Tony Venturini made a pass across. Here's the wrist shot from Tocher, and it's stopped. Glove save by Finch, and no further play. Michael Tocher last year, or Tocher, excuse me, had 15 goals, 27 assists. I mentioned Gabriel Richard returns their top 6 scorers from a team that made the quarterfinals. This should be a potent attack. They beat Grosse Ile in the region final. Meanwhile, East Grand Rapids took down their rival Catholic Central. Wrist shot from the angle. That was also in the region final, talking about last spring. Oliver Owen had the chance coming out of the penalty box. First shift since he had to take a seat. Can tell the energy is up, especially for East Grand Rapids. They're feeling the home ice advantage. And like I said, the energy's been great in here. Off the side of the net, Pioneers go after it, thrown toward the front, and deflected away from Jake Goosens, who was hunting a rebound. Whacked back into the Pioneers' real estate. And Owen Stropke, 8 assists last year in 18 games as a junior, now a senior leader. Dumped down. This was deflected by Gabriel Richard. No icing. 9:11 to go in the first period. Long lead pass. Redirected ahead by Santino Venturini. On the retrieval, Porter Brooks. There's also 2 Brooks on the team. We've got Nolan, the forward, and Porter, the defenseman. Porter clicks it around. Now he'll block this, Will Porter Brooks. Couldn't get it out, though. Venturini's shot save off the end boards. It came out in front, and a stuff try by Forrester's also denied by Finch. The freshman looking strong to start his varsity career, and bounced out with a knuckling puck all the way back down into Gabriel Richard territory. We're about halfway through this first period. We play 17-minute periods in Michigan high school hockey. Forrester will catch up to this dump in the right corner. Guided it on back. Zaker. D-to-D pass. Here's a deflected shot by Seski that ends up off the end wall. Santino Venturini got a piece. Forrester on his backhand. Wanted to jam it in or thought about it. Now Seski shooting. Save Finch, and no rebound. It's under his left leg pad, and he hangs on for the whistle. We've got the low angle working for you here. This is as high as we can get in this rink, the east rink at Patterson. The west rink can get a little more elevation, maybe a better vantage point, so we do apologize. The student section, well, they're not going to sit down anytime soon, so I'm not seeing that left near corner either, if it's any consolation. Wristed toward the goal. Finch made the save, being pushed back a bit by Mason Eshelman, and the Pioneers don't love that so much. But the folks in stripes break it all up and get set for another face-off in East Grand Rapids territory. And again, sent in deep. Crunching check by Ethan Brinker, and the Pioneers are away. 2-on-2 rush. Brady Ross, number 12 in goal, to let it go. Knuckling wrist shot. That got the boards, and a penalty coming up against Riverview Gabriel Richard. It's head contact. The preliminary signal from the referee at center ice, and that'll put East Grand Rapids on the power play for the first time this season. Tony Venturini, the captain, is going to have a seat with 7:50 left in the first. 2-minute penalty. Big thanks to Chris Newton and Grant Newton with the EGR coaching staff for giving me some intel on this year's squad. I was able to catch a practice this week as well. My first full season calling games for the Pioneers, and everyone's been so welcoming, especially after the playoff run last year. It was really fun to call those games on the NFHS network, and then in Plymouth for Michigan Sports Radio, who I work for during football season, which is still going on, by the way. Winkle tried to pull it out of his skates. Couldn't quite do it. Held in at the blue line by Albers. He'll lift it down the wall. Now Winkle blocks this clear. Oh, he couldn't set up a teammate. He wanted to find Oliver Owen, and it's picked off and cleared by Gabriel Richard. Half minute into the power play. First of 24-25 for East Grand Rapids. Stropke strides in, and he'll flip to the corner. He's going to get to that dump in, or at least cause some havoc there. While he does, he pins Matthew Cole to the end wall. And East Grand Rapids on that loose puck. The dish back out to the point. Ross is there. He'll hold on the backhand, now make a forehand pass to Stropke. Played it behind his back. Oliver Owen from the left flank. Lost it on the turnover. And it's cleared again, the length of the rink by Gabriel Richard. And those Pioneers get an obedient line change. Working 4 fresh new bodies out there. That's always important on the penalty kill. 53 seconds to go on the power play, with Tony Venturini in the box for head contact. East Grand Rapids is changing it up. We'll see if they can keep it at least on their side, on the attacking side, of center. They cannot, as it bounces over the stick of the fresh Nolan Brooks, and settling in behind his goal, Ethan Brinker. Brinker with his head up, makes a good pass up ahead. Jake Goosens couldn't quite corral it, but he did get a piece, so no icing on the play. Spun around the boards and got by the stretching stick of Nolan Brooks. Brinker backpedals one more time. Lead pass up to Bjornsson. He'll play it in deep. Connor Patak, the goaltender for Gabriel Richard, couldn't get it around and out, but it will be poked free. And back come the other Pioneers for a shoot-in that goes off the leg of Caden Goosens for Mason Eshelman. Short-handed, now back to full strength is Gabriel Richard. So we've had 3 power plays in this game and no goals during them. Seski, the defenseman. He loves to get involved. You can tell right away. Bouncing around in the EGR slot and lifted to safety by Nolan Brooks. 5.5 to go in the first period. Eshelman sprays some snow to get to that puck first and urgently fires it up the rink. That's off a stick. Ross. The pass over to Stropke. He elevates that one too high, though, for Cooper Rowan. But a good bounce for EGR, and here they come. Albers with speed. Now it's a 3-on-1. Ross feeds it far side Owen, and he couldn't get a clean stick to it. Really good job by Ethan Zaker, the defenseman, to get back in front. And now it's Owen helping it get loose. He gave it off to Brooks. Brooks got it back from Stropke. Bouncing puck at the blue line, and Stropke's got to retreat. And swing it right back in. The top line for EGR threatening there on that rush chance. But Zaker turned it from a 3-on-1 to a 3-on-2, and that was critical. Wrist shot from the right circle, stopped by Finch on the chance by Santino Venturini. Owen hops on this, tries the home run pass, that's picked off at center. And gunned right back in by Seski. Owen meticulously tosses it near side, skating onto it was Goosens, but he just left it behind. 4:17 remaining in the first. Cooper Rowan, the backhand, around the wall. Left there by Runyon. Owen Runyon running into one of the Riverview Gabriel Richard Pioneers and forced the puck out through to center. Doing a pirouette in his own end, Stropke. Runyon, the handoff. Over to Trevor Bird. Bird shot it from this side of the red line, so that's icing with 3:50 left in the first period. Bennett Winkle has the lone goal of this game, set up by Bryce Bjornsson. The Pioneers are off and running here from Patterson. The face-off to Finch's right, and it's one back for a wrist shot, a strong one from Matthew Cole, and right into the breadbasket of Finch. He holds on with help from the glove, and will face it off again. And the students eat it up. Hey, it's Friday night. Who cares if you're up late? They were ready to go. They were here for warm-up, getting the energy up. Poked away from the charging Nolan Brooks on the stick check, and that puck flies into the Gabriel Richard bench across the way. This rink used to be an Olympic-sized rink, and you can tell behind the benches there's a lot of room over there. Maybe you can't quite tell on your screen, but if you're here in person, it has an odd appearance to it. There's about maybe 20 feet between the back wall of the bench and the wall of the facility. But now 2 North American-sized rinks here at Patterson, which is right near the Gerald R. Ford International Airport in the southeast quadrant of GR. Turned over by Gabriel Richard. A pass from Brooks. Look out. Winkle wiped out. He got smoked there in the middle by Lucidi. Good clean hit. Winkle actually was starting to fall anyway, made it look perhaps a little worse than it was. Lob pass by Brinker, bouncing free. Gabriel Richard trying to get in on the forward check, but Winkle will prevent that effort as he sends it away, and East Grand Rapids gets a line change. Skating it up, Matthew Cole, sensing some time and space at his disposal. He passed it off for Tony Venturini, but a little malfunction there at the blue line. That's offside. Part of a 2-game opening weekend for EGR. That lob actually hit the rafters. So we'll do it again from center red, or just to the left of it. And dump back into East Grand Rapids territory. Thrown right toward the front, and clutch defensive play by Porter Brooks to break it up. And back come the Pioneers with numbers. Owen around the outside. Owen tossed it right through the crease, untouched. And Gabriel Richard returns the favor. Totcher passing it far side. Good defensive play. Back check by Brady Ross to knock it off the stick of Santino Venturini as he was trying to one-time it in. One of those little plays that maybe doesn't show up, definitely doesn't show up in the box score. Will show up in the film review, I'm sure. So I misspoke earlier. I don't know what I was thinking. Lake Orion will play East Grand Rapids tomorrow afternoon. I believe that's a 3 o'clock start. I had them playing Forest Hill Central. Not sure why I thought that, as the wrist shot goes deflecting out of play off the twig of Tony Venturini after another face-off win for Gabriel Richard. A piece of debris on the ice, flicked back toward the East Grand Rapids bench. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the end cap from a stick or what, but one of the Lions people has put it onto the EGR bench. Shot off the goalpost after the face-off, blasted by Eshelman, rang the iron on a wobbling, knuckling shot. That close to tying it up, but EGR remains in the lead. Now back into the east zone. It's Stropke. Playing it near side. Turned it over, but Stropke got it right back as it drifted off the stick of Schwerz. Stropke's pass in the skates of Runyon. Has some trouble with it, but now he'll clear to the near wing. And back for it is Brinker. Ethan Brinker being hounded by Tony Venturini. But he finds a way to make a pass up through center. 1:51 to go in the first, and the puck deflected out of play again. This time over the PA announcer, who takes it upon herself to fling another puck back onto the surface. Just under 2 to go in the first. Bennett Winkle had just 5 goals last year, 20 assists. Second leading assist man for East last year. But he's on the finishing end this time, and he's out there right now fishing for a puck in the corner. Gabriel Richard gets it right back to the line. That was very close to being offside, and it is offside. Just barely got maybe an inch over into the white ice of the neutral zone. So the face-off upcoming. Looks to be 2 pretty evenly matched teams from what I've seen in this first period. Perhaps East Grand Rapids a little more quick strike attack. They've had several rush opportunities. Gabriel Richard more of a grinding team, it appears. But that's very early impression. Bouncing through center. Totcher, high stick on the puck. That'll send it back on the whistle into Gabriel Richard territory. It was going to be a 3-on-1, but when Totcher touched it, one of the referees blew the play dead. That's a close call. And that's a tough break if you're Gabriel Richard. They thought they had something going. Instead, the Albers-Owen-Winkle line goes out over the boards, and Albers wins the faceoff back. Owen feeding it over for a snapshot by Caden Goosens that was off a leg, but it ends up back in the corner again. Albers on his backhand trying to find Owen with a pass, but that was intercepted. Cleared around and just out under the stick of Stropke. Backtracking to help out Caden Goosens with 1 minute to go in the first period. Over to the far wing. Owen was there where he should be, but he couldn't get it past the forward-checking forward. But EGR does clear in Ross, so he nearly took it away from Schwers in close quarters. Down to 43 seconds. Off the wall, hooked pass from Owen, eludes Ross, at least on first try. Now he'll get it off the end boards, pursuing it there. Back behind the goal, Owen reaches in with a stick. It deflects to the point. Brinker jammed it down the boards. 25 seconds left in the frame. Owen took it out of his skates, but turned it over. And again, it's Tocher. Lost control. Two Pioneers converged on him as Winkle will clear it to the far boards. 12 seconds to go in the frame. D-to-D pass onto the blade of Forster. Connor Forster digging in to the half wall, but lost command of that puck. Final seconds, down to 1 to go in the period, and there's the buzzer, ending the first 17 minutes of play. So Bennett Winkle scores just about 4 minutes in to the opening frame, and East Grand Rapids carries a 1-0 lead into the first intermission. Keep it right here for more, back after the break, here on YouTube. Second period on the way from Patterson Ice Center. I'm Matt Gajtka. Welcome to the broadcast. Our first of many this year for East Grand Rapids hockey, so thank you to the program, the athletic department for having me aboard. My name is Matt Gajtka, and I appreciate each and every one of you working on seeing if we can knock down the streaming rate, if you will. Not to get too technical on you, but the Wi-Fi, the internet, I should say, connection isn't as good as I would like it to be tonight. Sometimes it's an issue on this East rink, so I might have to sacrifice some of the picture quality, but going to give it a shot here for the second period. I've been told the video is choppy, so sorry about that. Hate to have that in our debut. First of a two-game weekend for East Grand Rapids. They're off to a nice start, but honestly that first period was quite evenly matched between these two teams, which I expected coming in. Back out to the point, EGR attacking the goal down to our left now. Held in at the blue line. A deflected shot came toward the front. Brady Ross on the fresh ice, spun out and lost control of the puck. Mason Eshelman charging on back for Gabriel Richard. Here's a pass high in the zone that clicks off Gabriel Richard's stick and slammed by Schweers off the blade of Albers and all the way out to center ice. Gabriel Richard tried to shoot it in, could not execute it, as it's pushed back into their real estate to our left. Brinker hammers it down the wall. Back there to get there first is the goal scorer, Bennett Winkle, the senior, with the 9th goal of his career. Now tapped by Trevor Bird at the point, or excuse me, that was Goosens. Here's a chance and a save made by Charlie Finch, and he holds onto it atop his crease. Good look on the rush down the wing by Tony Venturini, who heads off for a line change. 1 minute into the second period. Still just the one goal on the board. That's Bennett Winkle. Tomorrow, EGR will play Lake Orion here at home. I will not have that game. I have a previous engagement, but be back on the call next Friday when Salem pays a visit to this very same building. And then it'll be a Wednesday game against Forest Hills Northern and Eastern here before the Pioneers wrap up November on the 30th. And I believe that's a Saturday. Yes, it is a Saturday after Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving as late as it can be this year. It is the 28th of November. Fourth Thursday comes late this time. Redirected back down deep into East territory. Cracked around the wood, held there briefly by Forrester, and dished out to center ice. Lucidi rimming it around for Gabriel Richard. Over on the left wing, they battle for it. Comes loose for a hack shot by Venturini that bounced around. Came right back for Totcher shooting, and that save made by Finch. Wrister through traffic, that never got through. Blocked in the low slot. Gabriel Richard pushing the pedal down early in the second period. Lucidi makes a man miss. He'll give a pass a little too far for Totcher to lasso, and knocked away into the clutches of Jake Goosens, the forward. Pushing it down the wing. Good pass toward the middle, but just deflected away from its intended receiver, Alex Barnes, at the last second. As Barnes sees some action early in the second. Just beyond the blue line, Stropke sends it right back into the mixer. Back there to retrieve Evan Zaker. Turned it over. Good play by Albers to send it in below the goal line. The battle is on as Jake Goosens tries to loosen it up, working against the defenseman Lucidi. And now Goosens makes the play. He was cross-checked from behind, but play allowed to continue on, I think. Yeah, no penalty coming up. Wrister didn't get through from Barnes, and Albers was nearly there to scoop it up and presumably get a sharp shot away. Albers had a breakaway in the first period and another grade A chance. This backhanded the length of the rink, and Gabriel Richard is guilty of icing. So I told you the OK Conference is different this year. We have now two divisions, the Roo and the Fisher. EGR is in the Roo with Byron Center, Caledonia, Forest Hills Central, Forest Hills Northern and Eastern, Catholic Central, Christian, and Rockford. They'll play each of those teams once, single round robin, and then they'll be seeded 1 through 8 the top 4 in their division will square off against the top 4 in the other division, the Fisher, in one of 2 tournaments just before the state playoffs begin, or the regional playoffs, I should say. But before the MHSAA takes over. Here's a steal by Albers, centering out in front. Owen, a shot, and it's knocked into the goal, but no, they wave it off. High stick on the puck, and I think that's the right call. The determining line is the height of the crossbar, and the referee closest to the play, she was all over it. She says high stick on the puck, and that'll be a face-off back down in East territory as well. That's a shame because that might have been going in anyway, but it's so hard to resist taking a whack at it. And in that case, I don't know if it was Owen or who it was. Albers was around the goal. So was Ross. It was Owen's shot that hopped off the shoulder of the goalie, Patak. Connor Patak, second-year varsity goaltender for Gabriel Richard. Here's a steal for Gabriel Richard, trying to make a move, Santino Venturini, but he lost control of the puck as he wanted to pull the trigger. Now he gets it back, though. Left it behind him for Forrester to overlap, but he gave it up. Cleared around by Winkle. Or excuse me, that was Ross, actually. 12, not 17. Caden Goosens runs into a man, turned over and slung in front, went right by everybody. Taucher has to go back for it. And he can't get it past Albers, just inside his own blue line. Makes an angle pass over to Owen, but he's bumped off the biscuit. And swatted down, rolling puck, bouncing puck. This is icing again against Gabriel Richard with 12:45 to go in the second period. No goals in this period, no penalties in this period either. Continuing to look at the 2024-25 schedule for East Grand Rapids. Houghton comes in on the 6th of December, and then the Bay Reps, a prominent program from the northwest corner of the Lower Peninsula. It's one of those co-op teams that always does well. Of course, Bay Reps, that's who EGR beat in the quarterfinal, or the semifinal, excuse me, last year to advance to the D3 final down in Plymouth at USA Hockey Arena. Brinker goes D-to-D over to Stropke. He'll gun it in off the boards. Back there, Patak clears it high around the glass with that big goalie stick. Artfully done. And back down into the east zone. In neutral ice. Winkle trying to deke past a couple of Pioneers. The other Pioneers, that is. Couldn't do it. Brooks, his backhand, bounces off the body of Seski and cleared, and a penalty is on the way. Hooking is the call, and it's going to go against Gabriel Richard, and Mason Eshelman knew it was him. He skates over to the penalty box with his head down. Hooking the call, and the Pioneers get power play number 2 on the night with exactly 12 minutes to go in the middle period. Each team has now committed 2 penalties. Still 1-0 East on the Bennett Winkle goal, 4 minutes into the season. And Winkle's out there, but he lost that face-off. Behind his net, Teague Lucidi. And Gabriel Richard reverses it around to the far wing. And it'll be Totcher shorthanded, just trying to cause some disruption to the East breakout. And he'll retreat back into the neutral zone, setting up as they try to fend off Oliver Owen's chip in. Owen went high on Venturini, and that's going to be a penalty against Owen. Owen jumped up and hit Venturini right near the mask, and so that power play will be short-lived as the puck is backhanded into the glove of Charlie Finch by Santino Venturini, who drew the call, and for the second time tonight, Owen goes to the penalty box. 4-on-4 play coming up for the next 1 minute and 25 seconds. The penalty with 11:25 to go in the second. That's a couple times that Owen's energy has gotten the best of him, for lack of a better term. Committed a similar crime of passion in the first period. So like I said, we'll play 4-on-4 And won by the visitors. Venturini dished it back to the blue line. That's Seski over to Venturini. He tried to sling a pass through the box set up by East Grand Rapids. Couldn't do it. I was going to say the penalty killing box. It is not, but it is a similar look during a 4-on-4 situation. Usually you play man-to-man defense in the 4-on-4. It's kind of old school. I don't know if that's still current dogma among hockey coaches. Stropke pins it to the wall in front of the student section, or at least that's what I think is happening there. I see as much as you do. And the puck comes loose to Goosens. He hits Brooks. Brooks, good pass backside. Bjornsson kind of bounced that shot in. It was a weird release, and it knocked the stick out of the hands of Patak, but he made the save. Now a shot toward the front's deflected. Still loose there, and going down, Albert's trying to shoot it as he looked to rip it on goal and collect that loose puck, but couldn't do it. Cleared out, and Gabriel Richard. Look at these moves from Santino Venturini. Gained the line, dropped it off. Here's a pass near side, and a one-timer is blocked. Connor Forrester now jammed toward the front by Forrester. And Finch has it at his feet, and play comes to a halt. I believe that was Caden Goosens who blocked that attempted one-timer from Connor Forrester, who had 14 goals last year. He was second on the team in points, third in goals. Venturini, Tocher, and Forrester all scored in the teens in terms of goals last year. And makes sense considering how they've been buzzing around, even though Gabriel Richard still looking for its first goal of the season. In 13 seconds, it'll be a short power play for Gabriel Richard. For right now, it's still 4-on-4. Knocked out through center. Winkle on it. Little sauce pass. Finds Brady Ross 1-on-3. Tried to drag it back and shoot, but he left the puck behind. Under 10 to go in the second period. Still just a 1-0 EGR lead. Winkle, your goal scorer. Lifted ahead. Short power play, about a half-minute long for Gabriel Richard commences. But Rowan gets there first, couldn't clear. Booted along soccer style by Seski, but he gave it right back to EGR, and they forced it through out to center. Eshelman on it. He's out of the penalty box. Eshelman, one-touch pass. Here's a chance and a fan shot, and penalty is coming against East Grand Rapids again. I don't know who committed that one, but the player for Gabriel Richard is down and hurt, and he is not moving much. It is number 27, Jake Seski. Now he's up on his knee, on both knees. It looked like a hit from behind, and it'll be interesting to see what the penalty call is. On first glance, I thought it was clean, but that is not what the referees determined. I don't know who laid the hit. Couldn't quite tell in the chaos. 1 second to go on Oliver Owen's penalty. But it looks like, well, Winkle is maybe ready to enter the penalty box. I'm not sure. He's standing right there. Yeah, Winkle is going in. 2-minute penalty. So that's a good sign for East. Blindside hit is the call, hit from behind. And it's the fourth power play for Gabriel Richard. Owen comes charging out of the box. Here's a shot from Eshelman that drifts wide into the corner. So they had 1 second of two-man advantage time, and now back to 5-on-4. Traditional look here. Wrister out from the point by Venturini. Tony Venturini was blocked. Here's a shorthanded chance for Owen. Owen breaking in. He's stopped. And high sticking is the call, I think, against Oliver Owen. I thought a penalty was coming against Gabriel Richard. Instead, it goes against Owen, and the Pioneers are in a world of hurt now. It'll be a lengthy two-man advantage. Owen gets the wrong kind of hat trick. 3 penalties in the game. This one with 9:01 to go in the second, and the parade to the penalty box has put East behind the 8 ball. They still lead at 1-0, but it's going to take a serious effort now, and a timeout has been called for and given to Gabriel Richard head coach Rick DeSana. And I want to thank Rick for stopping by press row here before the game, helping me out with some of the names, pronunciation-wise I'm talking about. All right, so the timeout is taken with 9:01 to go in the second period, basically halfway through. East Grand Rapids leads it on a goal very early in the first period by Winkle, but now both Winkle and Owen are in the penalty box for the next 1 minute and 37 seconds. And that's the hope, that they stay in there for 137, because, of course, that'll mean that the Pioneers have killed off the penalties. Crucial moment here. Crucial moment. You don't need me to tell you that. Great to have you along on YouTube tonight. First of many games streamed this season for East Grand Rapids by yours truly. Off the face-off. It's controlled by East Grand Rapids. Stropke backhands it around. Goosens takes a bump. He reverses it, but right into the clutches of Connor Forrester. It's a 5-on-3 power play. The student section getting it revved up, trying to provide some energy for their squad. The pass from Venturini. He tries to go across there, and it's deflected away to the near side boards. Out high, Totcher. Closing, wristing, and that's offline. Bounces off the end wall. Jake Seski retrieves it. Rolling puck. Tony Venturini choked way down on his stick to hand it off to Seski. Shooting, saved by Finch, and he's got it at his feet somewhere. And he gets a little tap from James Albers on the backside to thank him for the effort. 1 minute to go on the 5-on-3. And we'll have another face-off to Finch's right. Charlie Finch, the freshman goalie, he's going to be called on here, you figure, a couple of more times. Santino Venturini burrows into the corner. Jake Seski, the play out to the line. Tony Venturini, his pass to Totcher. Backside, Seski shooting, blocked. Blocked by Owen Stropke, the senior defenseman. 44 seconds left on the two-man. Near side, Totcher. Far side pass. Too far for Seski to reach. He'll get it on the spin and crack it around the kick plate over to Totcher. Down low pass, Santino Venturini. Totcher. Into the middle, a one-timer by Santino Venturini that wobbled wide of the post. He was open, but he didn't get a lot on it. 20 seconds left on the two-man. Michael Totcher handing off. Seski firing, blocked again by Stropke, but it bounces out to the blue line of Tony Venturini. Back to Seski. Cross-crease pass, bounces behind the goal. Totcher swirls it back around and out. Down to the final second on the 5-on-3. Slapper under the goaltender, and it stays there. Santino Venturini with a great chance, but Finch made the save, and now just 19 seconds to go on the Owen minor, and then we'll be back to a 5-on-5, hopefully. 7:21 left in the second. And you can breathe again, East Grand Rapids fans. Two key blocks from Owen Stropke during that sequence. And then, of course, you need your goaltender to come up big, and Finch did a couple of times. Not giving up a rebound. Bad bounce there after the attempted clear from Brinker. Didn't get out, but the shot from Forrester was rejected. Final 10 seconds of the penalty. Here's a shot from the point by Lucidi that's patted out by Finch, and a lead feed looking for the shorthanded chance was Ross. It's intercepted. Back to 5-on-5 though, as Gabriel Richard turns it over into the skates of Albers. He sends a lead pass ahead. Here's Oliver Owen parading down the wing. Pass backside. They score! Brady Ross! 2-0 East Grand Rapids. And the veterans come through just after the 5-on-3 penalty kill. The Pioneers double their lead. It's 2-0. Ross's first of the season, 14th of his career. On the 2-on-1 converted, Oliver Owen made a brilliant pass. Give Albers the secondary assist with 6:48 to go in the second. How about that? That's hockey, isn't it? That's why we love this game. It can go end to end. Things can change in a hurry, and they sure did there. Give Ross credit. He buried it over the fallen Connor Patak. 2-zip. Back with it, Stropke. Could not get it out. It'll be Albers sending it off the wall, finessing it ahead. Owen lifts it through traffic. Jake Goosens trying to run the gauntlet, couldn't quite do it. Stropke's backhand into the attacking end. It'll be Zaker for Riverview Gabriel Richard, and cleared down and all the way for an icing against the visitors. And we say Riverview Gabriel Richard because there is a Father Gabriel Richard High School as well, as if one high school wasn't enough for the guy. And old Gabriel was prolific, I guess. Well, he's done a lot more than me, I'll say that. You have not one but two high schools named after you in the Metro Detroit area. That's quite accomplished. Trevor Bird to take this face-off. The freshman sent out there. Those post-goal shifts, their momentum shifts, and Coach Chris Newton putting some newcomers out for a twirl here, trying to keep momentum in the favor of the boys in gold. They're looking better now than they were a couple of minutes ago when they were down 2 men for nearly a full 2 minutes. They got through that and got another goal shortly thereafter. Cole comes right out in front of the net dangerously. Matthew Cole, another move that's poked off his stick by Jake Goosens. And Lucidi splits the gap. Left it off for a point shot that was stopped right out in front. Never got through to the goaltender. Caden Goosens blocked it. Now Goosens patrolling, pushing Tony Venturini over to the side wall. Long distance shot gobbled up by Finch. And nothing further from that with 5:22 left in the second. Again, the second period goal for EGR. Ross from Owen and Albers with 6:48 to go. Both goals for East, even strength tallies. And they are also 5 for 5 on the penalty kill. They jam away at this face-off back in their end. Gabriel Richard wins it. Tocher centering feed, taken away from Santino Venturini. Falling down Bjornsson as he cleared this in. EGR's bench wanted a penalty call, not going to get it. Winkle poking at it, looking to rip it away from Zaker. Back in front of the East Grand Rapids students. Lined up 3 deep behind the end boards. Impressive commitment, especially as we're 10:15. But if you played hockey growing up, you know late night games are just part of the arrangement. There's only so many rinks out there. Turned over. Here are the Pioneers. Owen from the circle. Shooting. Oh, I knew he wanted to let that one rip. He's got a great shot, but he got nothing but glass with that. Just a couple of inches over the crossbar. Winkle hacking at it. Lost control. Forster did clear. Out through to center it comes. Tocher on the move down the left wing. And from his strong side, he missed it to the right. Off the corner boards and out to center. Hack back into East real estate. Stropke angles a pass over to Oliver Owen. Owen with his head up. Good pass for the overlapping Brady Ross. Cutting inside. Left it. Albers open. Scores! Make it 3. James Albers throws a dart inside the left post. And it's an East feast in the second period. 3-0. Those 3 connect again. Ross and Owen on the assists. 4:06 to go in the second period. How about those resilient Pioneers? They got through a tough stretch, and you see the quick strike ability for this team. It remains. Told you last year's squad averaged over 4 goals per game. They lost quite a bit due to graduation, but as you can see, there's still plenty of firepower left. And we'll see how the newcomers develop. Icing against Gabriel Richard, and the visiting Pioneers have to be a little shell-shocked now, as they thought they were on the verge of tying the game. Instead, they find themselves down by 3 as we near the second intermission. Thought Logan Schweers was about to be kicked out of the faceoff circle. Yes, he was. I'm pretty sure that's the international signal for get out. Send somebody else in. Alex Barnes couldn't win the draw. Skipped through out the center off Stropke, but he retreats. But then he lost control of the puck. Tony Venturini comes back in with a great chance. Venturini throwing it toward the front, and Gabriel Richard scores to make it 3-1. And it's not over yet. The turnover at center ice. And celebrating in front of the student section, Santino Venturini, and he's about to get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Well, that was unnecessary. Mason Eshelman, rather. Eshelman was the one who scored the goal and made a beeline over for the student section, and that's going to end up costing Gabriel Richard a penalty just after they score. Tony Venturini made the pass that led to the goal, the first goal given up by EGR this season. So that stings, but it's going to be a power play. Just the third of the night for East. Late stages, second period, and we'll see if they can make that unsportsmanlike penalty hurt. They would dearly love to, of course. It's 3-1. So some sloppiness in the neutral zone cost East there, but can they redeem it? Albers charging in. Couldn't quite get past Matthew Cole. Makes the pass back to Stropke. He'll send it in deep again. Ross in after it. Still pretty fresh ice down in that corner. Haven't seen a lot of action in that side as Albers shoots and scores! The knuckling shot, and Albers does a couple of push-ups as he gets up off the ice and celebrates with his teammates. It's a power play goal, a PPG for EGR, and it's back to a 3-goal lead, 3-1. And East does make the unsportsmanlike penalty sting in a big way for Gabriel Richard. Albers is second of the game, 21st of his career. And we'll listen for the assist because that puck just bounced right out in front. Speaking of bouncing out in front, back down to our right, the action goes. Charlie Finch pins it down to the ice with the big trapper. Now listen for the goal announcement. I don't think they gave an assist. It might have been off of Gabriel Richard's stick, in fact. But Albers knew what to do. Opportunistic in the slot, a wrister off the faceoff win by Santino Venturini. So Eshelman's penalty cost Gabriel Richard the momentum they had earned by scoring their first goal of the game and first of the season. Whiff shot by Forrester. Now he got it back, forced it in deep. Gabriel Richard on the cycle again. They like to work it down low. Notice that. They have pretty good size as well. So it makes sense. Bjornsson looking to toss it into the offensive zone, kind of fanned on it, but it still ends up behind the Gabriel Richard goal line. The visiting Pioneers clear it up and out. Winkle, one touch. Over to Nolan Brooks and on to Bjornsson again. This line's been effective tonight as well. 2:22 to go in the second period. 4-1 EGR. All of a sudden, goals going in left and right, literally. Here's a wrister from the sharp angle by Totcher, saved by Finch, and popped all the way down the ice surface for the whistle on the icing against East Grand Rapids. Gabriel Richard will change its lines. 2:09 to go before the break. Thanks for coming along on the journey tonight. We're almost 2/3 of the way home. First game of the season that counts for both these teams. Goosens clears it around to the far boards, bouncing out in front on the shot right back into traffic off of Finch's stick and hopped away, fortunately, to the sidewall. Bird clears out for East. Alex Barnes rips it around the wood. Back there, Finch to stop it. Help out his D-men. Rowan hacks it along. Taken by Eshelman, who's been active in this period. A goal and 2 penalties. Out to the line. Cole wristing. Blocked out high. The Pioneers try to get it up quickly, but they can't get it out of their own end. 90 seconds to go before the buzzer. Rowan, Cooper Rowan, sends it around. Not out. He'll get a second crack at it. This time he goes a little softer and smarter that time as Goosens controls, and now Rowan, a high saucer play down over the top of the Gabriel Richard defense, and it settles back behind the goal line for another icing call. My name is Matt Gajtka on the play-by-play from Patterson Ice Center. East Grand Rapids trying to follow up back-to-back trips to the state final. And they're off to a surging start, at least so far, so good. They led 1-0 after one period. They've put in 3 in the span of 3.5 minutes here in the second. A block shot out high by Owen on Seski's chance. Tocher lost control of the puck to his opposite number, James Albers, who's on hat trick watch. Albers gallops in, trying to filter a pass through to Owen. Didn't get through. He bounces toward the front, and it went in. That might be the hat trick. I think it is. It went off of a Gabriel Richard defender and bounced behind the goalie. That's 3 for James Albers as he doffs his cap, metaphorically, to the student section, then does the same to the bench. That's a good bingo. 3 in the second period for Albers, 4 in the period for East Grand Rapids, and you need some luck in this game. It's 5-1, 49 seconds left before the break. That one's going to be unassisted. That was hockey's answer to the own goal. But there is no own goal in hockey. You've got to give it to someone, and Albers was the one who threw it toward the front of the net. Now Stropke has it poked away from him. Back comes Tocher, and another backdoor pass. This is deflected away from Venturini. Good back checking. I think that was Brady Ross, and now Ross takes this lead pass. Lot of speed for Ross. Look at him soar in, and it ends up on the doorstep, and they score again. Albers has 4. 4 goals for Albers. 3 in a row in the final 3:18 of the second period. It's 6-1. What is happening? How about Brady Ross with that speed? The Gabriel Richard defenders had no answer for it, and it hopped in behind Connor Patak, who's having a rough go of it all of a sudden. 7 seconds left in the period, and East is absolutely pouring it on. A 4-goal game for James Albers. The puck is just finding him. 5-goal lead. Clear down and out. It would have been icing. It's not going to matter. The buzzer sounds. And smartly, Caden Goosens picks up the puck. I don't know if he wants to get it to Albers. 4 goals and maybe even counting. 5 on the board for EGR in that second, and they lead it by 5 as we'll go to the second intermission. This is a crazy game at times, isn't it? And crazy in a great way for East. We'll take a break and bring it on back for the third period from Patterson in just a few minutes. Catch your breath. I'll do the same and be back with you in just a few. It's all right. No apology. Third period on tap from Patterson. I'm Matt Gajtka. Thank you for joining me. That escalated quickly from 1-0 to 6-1 before you could blink. All 6 of the goals scored in that second period, including the one by Gabriel Richard to make it a 3-1 game briefly. They were all scored in the final 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Actually, technically, it was a span of 6 minutes and 41 seconds that contained all 6 of those goals. Not sure I've seen something like that at the high school level. I have to rack my brain. I've been calling hockey for about 15 years, college, junior, high school, and that's one of the wildest stretches I've seen, especially since one player scored 4 of those 5 goals for East Grand Rapids. James Albers, a 4-goal performance tonight. He had 18 all of last year, which certainly wasn't too shabby. 19 for his career, so he's jumped up to 23 as a Pioneer. Also scoring in that period, Brady Ross. That was a big goal. He and Oliver Owen involved on a couple of those Albers goals. In fact, I've got Ross for a couple of assists to go with his goal. I've got Owen with 2 helpers as well. And here we go. Quick start to the third period, now with a 6-1 margin. And we'll see how fast this third period goes. Things tend to speed up a little bit when the teams aren't grinding at every moment. But you don't want to get careless here. And, of course, East has a game against Lake Orion tomorrow afternoon. So you want to kind of thread that needle between giving some top players a little bit of rest. This is offside against Gabriel Richard. And also making sure you don't get too sloppy here in the third period. Not all about player deployment, more about just focus throughout the lineup. Our next game, and it will be on the East Grand Rapids new live stream channel. We'll share that with all of the fans on the social networks that East Grand Rapids runs. Grant Newton putting out so much awesome content. How about that trailer for the season that we saw? As here's a look and a save made on a point-blank chance for Eshelman by Charlie Finch. The freshman goalie continues to stand out, formerly of Fox Motors Hockey Club. They play out of Southside Ice Arena down off of 131. That's where East Grand Rapids won the region the last 2 years, beating Catholic Central on their home ice in each of those situations. A couple of close games, but East prevailing. Here's a one-touch pass and an opportunity for Tony Venturini, but he's poke-checked as he tried to cut a serpentine route to the goal. Back to the Gabriel Richard blue line. Look out, as forcing the turnover was Runyon, and a chance back for Bjornsson, and his wrist shots deflected over the glass into the screen by Austin Owens, the defenseman. 15:35 to go in regulation time. So it looks like East is going to get off to a 1-0 start and improve to 29-7 in their last 36 games. This dates back to the end of the 2022-23 season when they went on that memorable run to get to the state final. They fell, I believe it was to Flint Powers Catholic, if memory serves. Painful memories, I know. Last year was certainly painful. Triple overtime to Cranbrook Kingswood, but again, a valiant effort by the Pioneers to get all the way to the last game of the season. And it was my pleasure to ride along with many of you. Outlet pass, Tony Venturini. Now he drops it off. Good feed near side. Good save by Finch. Telescoping out the stop. Michael Totcher, excuse me. Totcher, the recipient of that pass on left wing. And he let her rip. But goaltenders, especially in the modern game, they have to be really good play readers. They have to read the play like a defenseman would, because the puck just moves so quickly these days. I don't care what level you're at. There's just more skill, more speed in the game in a lot of ways. A slap shot by Lucidi was blocked. Here comes Oliver Owen down the left wing. He'll shoot. That's off the stick hand of Patak. Good save. Retrieved in the corner by Albers. Now Owen feeds Ross. He'll shoot. Glove save by Patak. Still free in front of his net. And knocked away to the far side wall. And off the leg of Ethan Brinker. Back with it, Eshelman. He'll shoot. That's redirected up into the netting by Finch once again. 6-1 East Grand Rapids. Your eyes do not deceive you. It's a big lead for the Pioneers over the other Pioneers. Gabriel Richard will go cross town to Southside to play Catholic Central tomorrow. I'll actually be on the call for that one on the Catholic Central YouTube channel, so I'm seeing Pioneers all weekend. Another save by Finch off the face-off, controlled by the visitors. Totcher with a chance. Totcher has been all over it tonight. He deserves one, but as someone once said, deserves got nothing to do with it. The sport can be unfair at times. You can be all over the puck, all around the net, and not get one to go your way. Luck's a part of it, but you can also outwork your luck at times. You just got to keep giving yourself chances. Just ask James Albers. He had 2 early looks, probably was kicking himself for missing them, and he ends up getting 4 in the second period alone. So much for the missed chances. Well, he might be saying, I should have 6 tonight. Although you can't really say that when you get a couple of bounces like he did on the 3rd and 4th goals of his night. You like to think they all even out, but who knows if they actually do. Back down, Nolan Brooks pursuing on the forward check. 14 minutes to go in the 3rd period. Long lead pass. It's a breakaway for Santino Venturini, and he's denied. Pad save by Finch. Keeping it a 6-1 game. Pioneers fell asleep on the back end there, and Santino got behind him. The deflected shot from Alex Barnes, parried away by Connor Patak, who was under siege in that second period, and then some. Cooper Rowan turning and spinning, good play, and his backhand to clear it around and out. It's empty behind Charlie Finch's goal now. A lot of the student section is taken to the night. Hope everyone drives safely. There's still some diehards here, though. Well, they used their energy to get the Pioneers through a very difficult spot. It was 1-0. We'll hold that thought as Albers surges in, has it poke checked. Owen feeds it down the wall. 2 hours. He's got Owen in front, and he pokes it in. Oliver Owen gets his first goal this season off the assist from Albers. I've got Albers figuring in on every goal tonight except for the first one. That's a 6-point night for James Albers. 4 goals and 2 assists. Owen knocks it by the sprawling Connor Patak, and the margin is reached 7-1. And all but one of these goals at even strength, by the way, making it all the more impressive. This has not been a big power play type of game for EGR. Ross pulls up, deflected shot. Oh, that hit the goalpost. And now bounced toward the front of the net, and Patak had to make a save on Albers, who was looking for his 5th goal of the night. What a performance by this line. Ross, Albers, and Owen. And here's a lead pass. Albers cutting inside, lost control of the puck. Slight poke check as he looked to slide between the circles. Ross with the flick. And it's all the way in deep. Yes, this game was 1-0, and Gabriel Richard had a 2-man advantage for nearly 2 full minutes. They couldn't score on it. Good penalty kill. And then East put in a couple of goals back-to-back from Ross and Albers. And it was 3-1 when Albers scored 3 in a row in the final 3 minutes of the second period. Backhand chance, a sharp backhand from Trevor Bird. That's off the pad of Patak, right back toward the front. A backhand chance again, this time from Jake Goosens. That's stopped by Patak. So the Pioneers keeping the pressure on in a big way, despite the 7-1 lead. And well, here's a chance for some new guys like a Trevor Bird, like a Owen Runyon, who've seen quite a bit of ice time tonight to get some more confidence at this level. Saucered through the neutral zone, retrieving Caden Goosens. He'll clear it around to the near side boards. Flicked up into the corner. Brooks hammers it away. Porter Brooks, another new guy. There was a high stick into the face of Runyon, but nothing called. Right in front of us. Shot from distance by Tony Venturini, sticked away by Charlie Finch. to the far side wall. There's a cross check from behind. Well, Gabriel Richard was lucky to get away with one the first time. They didn't get away with one the second time. Santino Venturini has been sent off. Go to your room, young man. 11:02 to go in the third. Cross-checking the call. And the East Grand Rapids power play, 1 for 3 on the night, gets a fourth crack at it. Winkle, Ross, Albers, Owen, and Stropke, the fivesome, on the ice. Winkle wins it right back. Albers helps it over to Stropke. Owen looks to get the return pass on the give and go from Albers, didn't get through. Or excuse me, that was Ross. Now Albers out high. Feeding it over to Winkle. He lost control, bumped off the puck. Owen comes in to help out. Still really good energy from East on this power play. Owen tried to send it into the middle. It's cleared up off the glove of Stropke, and it bounces out to center ice. So 4 forwards and a D-man. The PP unit for head coach Chris Newton and company. Ross gets in on the forward check, wins the puck. Brady Ross. Now a one-touch pass from Oliver Owen to Owen Stropke. Cross-rink feed, hopped over the stick of Ross on the back door. Albers looking for point number 7 on the night. Here is Albers. Whiffed on that pass reception, but following up is Winkle to send it ahead to Ross. Right back to Albers. Closes, fires. Blocker save by Patak with exactly 10 minutes to go in regulation. Winkle now left it behind. Coming off the bench is Caden Goosens. It'll be free off to Brinker. Ethan Brinker buys some time waiting for the line change. He bought enough time as here comes Bjornsson. Bjornsson's pass. Out high to Goosens. Taps it down low into the corner. Brinker does a pirouette and feeds it below the goal line to Nolan Brooks, shooting from a sharp angle. That was off the mask of Patak. Cleared around and out by Gabriel Richard, right by Caden Goosens. Down to the final 24 seconds on the power play. Really good power play for East. Speaks well to their energy throughout the night. Ahead by 6 and still executing. Bjornsson cutting inside, he shoots, and that might have been deflected. It hopped up on him nevertheless, and it jumped out of play. 9:09 left in the third. I'll have some highlights for all of you as well. I'm going to post those to YouTube and also to my social channels. Probably do that before I go to bed tonight, since we do have a quick turnaround. Do my best. 8 seconds left on the power play. Brooks to take the draw. Nice to see some folks in the concourse who I met last year during the East playoff run. Fun to be part of the family here, so I really appreciate it. Calling hockey games replenishes my soul for sure, as Bjornsson will shoot, and it's blocked at the point of attack, I believe. Drifted off his stick. Eshelman lifts it to center ice for Gabriel Richard. That's off of, I thought it was a high stick by Michael Totcher, but play allowed to continue on. And the refs are human too. Stropke guiding it on the headman effort, but under the stick of Bjornsson. And this will be an icing against East Grand Rapids about halfway through the third period. EGR has added one more. Oliver Owen on the doorstep. His first of the year, 24th of his career. Owen, Winkle, and Stropke are the 3 East Grand Rapids players who have played 2 previous seasons. Another more elegant way to say that, they're the 3 third-year players. First game for me, too. Barnes lifting it on goal. Patak pounces on it. I don't think Connor Patak has been particularly off tonight. It's just the East attack was overwhelming in the second period, and they got a couple of bounces there late. It's one thing about goaltending statistics. It's really hard to parse them, especially at this level when all you got is save percentage and goals against average. There's some cool stats for goalies at the highest level in the NHL. Goals saved above expected, that sort of thing, but we don't have access to that sort of stuff here, so goaltending stats are often reflective of how well the team is playing as much as it is the skill and the execution of the netminder. They hack and whack at the near boards and pushed out to center by East. Whipped right back in by Forrester. They have Forrester listed as a forward, but he's been playing D today. And again, a thank you to Rick DeSana and Gabriel Richard for setting me up with a roster sheet and even a line chart coming into tonight's game. That is greatly helpful, extremely helpful. Chopped along the wall by Santino Venturini. And what's this, a penalty call in the corner? Couldn't quite tell what happened down there. High sticking. That's the preliminary signal. And it's Santino Venturini again. Second time to the box in the period with 7:02 left. In case you're wondering, the mercy rule in Michigan high school hockey is an 8-goal lead in the third period. We're still a couple away from that. I would say unlikely we get there, but just keep that in the back of your mind. We don't do running clock in hockey. We do cut the game short at times. Boy, one of the Pioneers was run off there, and he is struggling to get back up. That's Owen Stropke. Hate to see him take a knock, but he's limping, laboring his way to the bench after the whistle sounds on the injury. So the faceoff will be in Pioneers territory, home Pioneers, not the visiting Pioneers. I'm ready to be done with this game in that regard. I'll say that much. I hope it's the only one all year that features two teams with the same nickname. Nothing wrong with being Pioneers, of course. It's a cool nickname. And we do have Ann Arbor Pioneer High School, too. We're just pioneering people here in Michigan. Slap shot from out by the blue line. Saved. Gobbled up by Finch. Eshelman hammered it. Short-handed look for Gabriel Richard. They're trying to find something they can build off of as they head across town to play Catholic Central tomorrow at 2 p.m. East will host Lake Orion. Got my schedules mixed up earlier in the game. If you heard me say that Lake Orion was going to play Forest Hill Central, that was incorrect. They're playing East. And you probably knew that already if you are an East fan. Wondering, what is this guy saying? I'm calling games for two teams this year, so we might have a few of those issues. I may have to write down more this year. Brinker at the point. Guides it down the wall. Controlling is Bjornsson. Look to throw it toward the front. Net front presence is Jake Goosens, or excuse me, that's Nolan Brooks, rather. 14, not 4. Brooks on it. Across the blue line it goes. Brinker, open man's Bjornsson. Lets it go. Wanted to go short side and shelf it, but off the shoulder of Patak. Under 6 to go in the period. 48 seconds left on the power play. Cross-rink pass, Brinker. He'll be able to keep it in on his backhand and lift it away from the pressuring Schweers. Brooks, open, feeding, goes right by the stick of Goosens to the point. Brinker's shot, deflected wide. Half minute to go on the penalty. And watch out in the Gabriel Richard bench as it's cleared over everyone's heads. Into that dead zone behind the benches I talked about earlier in the game. Evan Zaker throws his head back, frustrated, because the faceoff will stay in Gabriel Richard territory. With 5.5 remaining in the third, and EGR up by a bundle. Winkle wins the draw. Stropke steps up, and he tried to get it toward the net. It deflected into the air, and glove down and cleared. by Forrester. Albers on the move, takes the lead pass. 4 goals, 2 assists tonight for James Albers. Ross tries to deke and get in deep, and does. Winkle follows on. Power play's over, though. 5 to go in the third. Stropke relayed to Albers. His pass was blocked, got it right back. His give off to Owen, and a dart shot right to the chest of Patak, who hangs on for the whistle. Our next game on the network, if you will be East Grand Rapids taking on Salem. Coach Chris Newton telling me that Salem's got a good club, and well, I was talking to another coach in the area, and he said, well, you can go 0-25 in the regular season, but as long as you're getting better throughout the year, that's the goal, because it's all about the postseason in that regard. Well, we've got some new looks to the OK Conference. You can have a tournament win before the actual tournament, so I think it's not quite accurate. I know the coach didn't mean it literally, but his point was you want to play some good teams, you want to see where you're at, and East Grand Rapids certainly a squad that likes to schedule tough. Centering play from Gabriel Richard, and this win's going to be a real feather in their cap to start the season, certainly. Finch couldn't stop it behind the goal. Just struck me he is a gold Finch tonight, wearing the alternate jersey. Charlie Finch about to get his first varsity win. Rowan lifts it up the boards, not out. Cross rink, here's Venturini dusting it off, firing. Blocker save by Finch. Venturini has it back again. Try to go to the net for a give and go pass. It was broken up. And here's JP Levitt. Shift for him, a shift for Trip Hoekstra as well, number 16. Wearing the number previously worn by Charlie Hoekstra. He has graduated and moved on. We're going to see some new players here for East as Runyon pulls it in. Left it back for Lucian Bruck, but he's dispossessed. Venturini, Tony Venturini that is, couldn't get the pass across. That was blocked. Fine work by Porter Brooks to prevent the scoring chance. Here's Bruck, 18 in gold. Lucian Bruck breaks free, looks to make a pass, and a little too firm off the wall for Runyon to handle. Down to the final 3 minutes. See who else gets a look here for East. Trevor Bird back out there. Now Bruck tried to hook up with Bird at center. That was intercepted. Cleared by Caden Goosens. But right to Eshelman. Eshelman, the drag move. Eshelman getting in deep. Backhand pass. Intercepted. Taken away by Runyon. Couldn't clear, though. Blind feed toward the center. It'll drift all the way out to neutral ice. Cole dumps it right back in for Gabriel Richard. Finch stopped it there. East just rolling the lines right now. And why not? Puck got tied up in the skates of a linesperson. JP Levin will pull it, though, through, and a low shot sticked away. Levin's first shot on goal as a varsity player. Levin back there. 2 minutes to go in the third. See if the new guys can create something. Alex Barnes speeds it back to Stropke. His shot was deflected, bouncing out in front. Trip Hoekstra overskated, reaching into the skates of one of the Gabriel Richard defenders, but couldn't get it. Mason Eshelman, a high backhand, got it in deep as he'll skate off for a line change. It's been a frustrating night for Eshelman despite the goal. Went to the penalty box twice in that second period, including the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after his goal. You want to talk about turning points as well. He scored on that power play very quickly. Their only conversion on 5 opportunities this evening. But that made it 4-1, and that made it really difficult for Gabriel Richard to entertain thoughts of a comeback on the road. Totcher with a drop pass. Venturini's shot was blocked. Right back to the point. It'll be Forster sending it across. Wrister off the toe of Finch. On the chance for Teague Lucidi. He has it again, does Lucidi. Shooting save by Finch with some traffic around his goal crease. And he hangs on with 50 seconds left. A lot of big games coming up, non-conference games. Told you Houghton and Bay reps early in December. That's part of a showcase event here at the rink. So if you like high school hockey, come on down that first weekend of December. Not just East, but a lot of teams from the area and out of the area as well. You'll be able to watch do their thing as teams try to find their legs early in the season. Lead pass from Levin on to Barnes, and he lets one go that missed. Brinker pinched up, couldn't keep it alive, but J.D. Menny gets a touch, and he'll send it ahead on the backhand. Half a minute to go in this game. Schwer's on the take back, dangerously out in front of his net. Hoekstra broke it up. Thrown deeper by Levin. 14 seconds left. Gabriel Richard will escape. Tony Venturini down the wing looking for a late goal, and it's off the shoulder of Finch. One last save for him. Down to the final 5 seconds. Looks like that's going to be it. Time runs out. East wins 7-1. A grand home opener. James Albers, 4 goals and 2 assists. That top line for East Grand Rapids was absolutely dynamic. Brady Ross had a goal and 2 assists. Oliver Owen had a goal and 2 assists. And let's not forget, Bennett Winkle scored the opening tally way back in the first period. And as I mentioned, Charlie Finch gets the victory. The freshman in goal stops all but one. A resilient performance from East Grand Rapids. They hung in there until they got the offense in gear, and boy, did it ever get in gear. They scored 5 times in the second period, including 3 in a row from James Albers late in that second period to essentially put it away, and that'll do it for tonight. Like I mentioned, in 1 week I'll be back here in Patterson for the visit from Salem. Salem comes into play East Grand Rapids, so keep your eye on the social channels for East Hockey. My name is Matt Gajtka. Thank you to everyone with the program, including Coach Chris Newton, Assistant Coach Grant Newton, social media extraordinaire, and great to see and hear from a whole bunch of folks today at the rink and out of the rink who were enjoying the broadcast. We'll continue to tinker and refine the technical side of things. It's a new environment for me, relatively speaking. Did a few games here at Patterson over the last few years, but I have to get everything squared away. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw tonight. If you're an East fan, you have to love the result. 7-1 is your final. I'll talk to you next Friday from Patterson. Until then, good night, God bless, and have a great rest of your weekend. See you soon.